Hi everyone, it's me Shawl. Welcome to another video. It's July the 20-something. 24th maybe? No, I don't know. It's Friday anyway. I have no idea what day it is. I know it's 20-something. Finished objects. I have a few. Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, you're lucky this video. I nearly said this lesson. It happens, doesn't it? Anyway, first thing I finished a while ago, and I never even mentioned that I was doing it, it's called the Radius Shawl, and the YouTube video is Light and Joy Designs, and she demonstrated how to do it. And I did it in King Cole Curiosity. I can't remember when I bought it. It might have been the beginning of the year or the very end of last year. And it was just, as soon as I saw the video, I set out to buy some yarn. And then I did the project and I was like, I don't even know why I'm doing this. But I enjoyed doing it in the end. It's here. You're not going to be able to see it in all its glory, unfortunately. Let me see if I can put it on. It's a circle shawl. It's almost, it can be a full circle or it can be almost a full circle. And I think laying it out on the floor will actually illustrate this far better than I can just on here, but these are the colours anyway. And it's all done in Tunisian crochet simple stitch short rows, which is how you get the circle. And it looks like a cape. And why did I do it? I have no idea. I have no idea why I did this. So that's why I end up thinking like a bit of a regret. Okay, there we go. I'm not even modelling this very well, and you're probably hearing some awful sounds here. Yeah, I need to apologise for my last video. I had this, I am recording, that's good, right in front of me on a little stand, and I kept whacking it. Your ears, I'm so sorry. So that's why I've decided to hook it up to this, and hopefully it will have lessened, but I can't guarantee about this. Oh, I feel hot now. I need to get this off. So that was King Cole Curiosity, which is what kind of yarn? Oh, it's acrylic. But it was one of those buys where I just didn't, you know, when you don't really plan a project. Sorry, I saw the shawl and I thought, oh, I want to make that. But one good thing is that I actually did set about making it straight away, rather than just adding it to a stash and then forgetting about it, which is what I have been doing. So at least it's done now. I've no idea what I'm going to do with it. That's the thing that's annoying me. I've no idea what I'm going to do with it. Moving on now. Something I've just discovered is that I can't stray too far from the table because that thing will slide off. That's why they have such a long cable, but I was going to get tangled up in the cable. Anyway, the next thing I finished now, which order did I finish it in? I don't really think it matters. Okay, I finished the sideways scarf with Christmas yarn. That's only half of it. The other half is here. It's very long. Okay, if you want to know this, it's a very simple recipe. DK weight yarn, 4mm needles, 280 stitches, knit for 7 inches. Slip the first stitch of every row though, because it's easier to find the stitches to put the tassels on. And it doesn't look too bad. But I was puzzled about what to make with that yarn. So I'm glad that's finished. That will go somewhere at some point. And I also made a random pouch. I started with just basically a toe for taupe socks, then knit a few rounds, decreased, did some eyelet stitches. You can't see them here. Let's unravel this. That's it. I did some eyelet stitches. Can you see that? The chain, the crochet chain is weaved throughout that. Knit a few rows again and did picot cast off. And then I did a crochet chain, and it's not long enough, I realise that. But I just didn't know what else to do with the rest of that yarn, and this is what's left. I could make more pouches. I'm looking at them thinking, well, what's the point of it? I don't know what's wrong with me lately. Anyway, hats. The hats I've been making the last few weeks. The mistake rib beanie. And a lot of it was experimentation. Remember the first two, one was too short and one was too long. And anyway, the third one I made, Goldilocks. This does fit on an adult size head. 108 stitches, DK weight yarn, 3.5mm needles. And so you do the main body of the pattern for 8.5 inches, then start the decreases. But I did alter the last 3 rounds of decreases. I put some resting rounds in between them because I've reduced the amount of stitches. Of course, I couldn't exactly do the last 3 rounds. It was the first of the last 3 rounds was missed off because of 1, the resting rows, and 2, the amount of stitches. Well, the amount of stitches have worked. Probably. Anyway, it doesn't really matter, but that's what I did. That's how I altered it, and it worked. Yeah, I did it that way because 1, there was fewer stitches already, and 2 was because the final 3 rounds, it was 3 rounds, but not doing the first of the 3 rounds, I was able to put resting rounds, and I only basically did 1 extra round. So decrease, rest, decrease, rest. It's all sorted. The second hat I did, I continued because, you know, I was in such a dilemma last video, and I'm glad I did. I swapped from the tiny little hat needle. This is 120 stitches DK weight yarn. It's the same brand of yarn as this. 3mm needle. But I needed to check the size. So what I did, I swapped from the hat needle to a needle with a long cord, so a lace needle basically. And I tried it on, and I thought, oh, it's a bit tight, but it's great for a child. It's great for a child. So that's why it's on this head. I think I could have managed fewer rounds for that, but it doesn't really matter. Once you've figured out that's the adult and it's 8.5 before the decreases, so I suppose between 8 and 8.5 for that. That was, yeah, something else. Once I put it on 3mm needles with a very long cord, I just decided to keep knitting with that. And then I was thinking, 3mm needles is quite sharp. It's actually bothering me. So I had to swap and switch. That's a merge of swap and switch. That's good, isn't it? I had to switch to wooden needle tips, and that felt so much better. Now, normally I knit with metal ones quite easily, all the time. I prefer them. But just this one's, they just felt, the metal 3mm felt really sharp, so I swapped. So that's, no, that's not everything. That's everything written down. One more thing I've done. You know, I said I was going to start using up my sock yarn by buying plain sock yarn to do toes, heel flap, heel turn and cuff. Well, I did that. I bought a selection of different yarns. So aside from that, why am I pointing over there? King Cole Curiosity. Aside from that, the only yarn I've bought is the yarn I intended to buy rather than just random buy, which was the King Cole Curiosity. I did buy the opal plain in various colours, and I thought the first one I would do is these. Now, as I was knitting this, I was thinking, oh my gosh, the orange in this isn't as bright as I thought it was going to be. It was only when it became, when it was paired with the red that I realised it wasn't as orange. It was quite muted orange. But never mind, I've still done it. Also, the yarn cake, the yarn cake that I had left was about that much, approximately. And it did, now, 100 gram of sock yarn, this isn't 100 gram by the way, it does actual 3 full socks, right? So I thought, oh, I know, what's left over is approximately this much. I will make socks like this. Almost. It was only because I had this that I was able to get away with pulling that off. It did 1 sock, and it did about up to about here, from top of the second sock. So luckily I had this. Now I do know I can get a pair of socks out of that, because there's no way that amount equates to what's left of a 100-gram skein of sock yarn. So my future plan is they're going to be a bit more oddball socks. So in the foot part of the sock, they're going to be one yarn, and I think that's worked up until about, well, hang on, where's the heel flap? Here, I can't remember. Here, I think. And then the top half is going to be a different one. So it's going to be really odd. But I'm going to closely match them as much as possible, as in complementary matching rather than exact matching. My youngest son will absolutely love them because he just loves random socks, so that's fine. But anyway, my husband's really happy with them. He's going to get them for his birthday in October. And they took me less than a fortnight, only just, because I was really concentrating on them. Now that sock pattern is Sockmatician toe-up socks. And I did that. I used to use the Harlow toe-up socks now, and I still probably will use the Harlow toe-up socks, possibly. Actually, I like the way this works. But the only problem with that, coming to the toe-up socks, is that you knit all the way around the sock after you've done the heel turn. And so you can't include the heel turn in that secondary colour. You can only have it in the primary colour. And I didn't want that, it looked odd. So, and I saw that Zoe from 24 Karat Crochet, she'd done plenty of these socks, and I thought, how she incorporated the heel turn and the heel flap in the secondary colour? I want to know. So I asked her, and she said it was Sockmatician's pattern, so I bought it. And you know something? His are really good. And you use German short rows for that. It's really good. So I like that. And I liked all the number crunching. I really love the number crunching. I love playing with numbers. Anyway, that is definitely everything. I still haven't returned to Knit and Natter yet, and I haven't been since... It was just prior to lockdown. It was the Thursday before, I think it was the 19th of March. I was going to go the following week, but I knew lockdown was imminent, and I thought, I don't want to take any risks here. Because if something happens to me, or something happens to, my husband's one man down, so to speak, looking after CJ, or vice versa, or if something happens to both of us, CJ can't look after himself. So, that is absolutely everything. That's all my news, all my projects, and wasn't that worth the wait? I was actually finishing stuff. What I've got on the needles at the moment, I'll tell you what. I know there's some UFOs that I haven't quite... I worked a little bit on Andy's blanket, so I've just put that away to tidy up a bit, because I pick it up every now and then. The rest of this yarn, I'm not going to do any more of these hats. I will at some point, but not now. So the rest of this yarn, I'm making a scarf. And my brain had to do a switch, because I'm knitting in the round, and for the main body of the pattern it's basically a 2-row repeat. My brain had to do a flip for the second row and do everything, because it's just in rows. I don't know when I'll finish that. I'll just work on that. And since I've done that, I might as well pick out another UFO and start plugging away at that. So that's it. Yeah. Just waiting for things to get back to normal. Yes, oh yes, I haven't been to Knit and Natter. I was saying that, wasn't I? How did I get sidetracked? So I haven't been to Knit and Natter since prior to lockdown, and it looks like things are easing. The coffee shop is opening, but they're doing the social distancing thing. They're changing things around. We don't know if it's going to be conducive to our knitting group. So we don't know about how things are there. One of the ladies is interested in going to check the place out just for a coffee, but I'm like, I don't see anybody. I mean, we'll speak on the phone and everything, our Facebook Messenger. I've got no issue with that. It's just that I don't see anybody. I'm still really concerned about this. So, did you eat that? That's CJ downstairs in the dining room. What time is it? Oh, it's lunchtime. I forgot it was lunchtime. I haven't had my lunch yet and I'm not even hungry. That's another thing of lockdown. It's changed my appetite. I think I quite easily skip lunch without even thinking about it. Probably not a good thing to do though, but anyway. So, knit and nat, I have no idea when that's going to resume. I'm a bit apprehensive at the moment, but we'll just have to wait and see. But I'm plugging away and I'm staying in touch with my friends, so that's the main thing. Yeah, one of them's still stuck in Dubai. I know, she went just prior to lockdown and we were like, are you sure you should be going? You know, because like this, it looks like it's a pandemic and things might be locking down, and she was like, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Well, the only flights out the country are people who are younger than 70, so she's still stuck there. I mean, luckily she's got an apartment, but she only took a certain amount of knitting with her and I think she's finished. But the one good thing, she's very... She doesn't just knit, she doesn't just crochet, she does lots of other little crafts. She has her fingers in lots of different pies. So I'm sure with her interest in lots of different things, she will find something to do. So fingers crossed. But hopefully she can get back in the country again soon. Never mind. Anyway, I'll definitely go now. So like, subscribe, please write a comment. You know, say hi, let us know how you're getting on. Because I haven't heard from some of you for absolutely ages, which is understandable because we're all falling away from our regular routines, aren't we? Which makes sense, you know, under the circumstances. Anyway, I'll definitely go now. All right, take care, everyone. Bye.